Hi students, hope everyone is fine and safe. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to my new video. And today's video is about another interesting concept in the subject analog and digital communication. We're going to see the minimum error probability of matched filter. We're going to derive the error probability of matched filter. In previous video, we have already seen what is matched filter, what is the importance of matched filter, what is the error boundary conditions, right? And we have seen what is impulse response of matched filter. I would recommend you people to go and watch the previous video first so that you can understand what is matched filter, right? What is the importance of it so that you can understand this derivation, right? And to start with, I already explained you what is matched filter. Matched filter is used to detect signals both in baseband as well as in bandpass transmission, right? And very importantly, it is used to maximize the signal to noise ratio, right? And then to reduce the probability of error. That is the very important need for matched filter, right? So to maximize the SNR at the receiving side and to reduce the probability of error, right? And today we're going to derive the error probability derivation for matched filter, right? To obtain the error probability, first what we have to know is we have to find out the error condition. We have to find out the error condition and the decision threshold. And from that, we can able to calculate the minimum error probability of matched filter, right? We will see what is the decision threshold of matched filter. For example, what is the condition where error can happen, right? We know that we are going to transmit the binary signal. It will be binary 1 or 0, right? And if you're going to convert this into NRZ signal, what is NRZ signal? NRZ signal is, say for example, right now this is binary bits 1 0 1 1. So you will have 1 here, 0, and this will be 1 1. Correct? So this is the binary bits, but it's not the transmission form where we have to convert this into signal form by using NRZ. For NRZ, nothing but it will be written non-return to 0 signal. It will be like this, which means for 1 you will have plus A amplitude, and for 0 you will have minus A amplitude. Correct? And I can call this plus 1 as x1 of t and this minus A as x2 of t. That is, binary 1 is considered as x1 of t and binary 0 is considered as x2 of t. Right? And we use this match filter in the receiving side. Correct? So whenever you receive any particular signal, that is, remember this x of t is transmitted. When we say x of t, it can be x1 of t or x2 of t. Correct? x1 of t is binary 1 and x2 of t is binary 0. Right? But generally we say it as x of t. Right? Whenever you transmit this x of t, what happens here? Definitely you will have some sort of a noise. Correct? So some sort of a noise will get added, and if noises get added, then what will happen? X of t plus n of t will be there. Right? And we already know this x of t can be either x1 of t or x2 of t. And that is sent to the optimum filter, right? And the output of this optimum filter, then it will be sampled at t seconds, right? And then it will be sent to the, it will be checked as the output. Output is nothing but R of t, where R of t determines whether it is binary 1 or binary 0, right? So if it is above threshold, it will be considered as binary 1, and if it is below threshold, it will be considered as binary 0. But you got to understand here, if it is here in R of t, it can be either x01 of t or x02 of t. Definitely you will have noise, right? What is x01 of t? Whenever you transmit x1 of t, that will be received as x01 of t. Whenever you transmit x2 of t, then you will be received as x02 of t. Correct? But definitely you will have some noise, right? So this is the normal transmission that is going to happen. So if there is no noise, now we got to consider two conditions here, right? What is those two conditions? Now you know that we are transmitting x of t and noise is getting added, and at the receiving side it will be x01 of t plus noise or x02 of t plus noise, right? So first thing is, if there is no noise, noise is not present, then what will happen? The R of t will exactly determine whether it is binary 1 or binary 0, right? So if it is if r of t detects as x naught 1 of t, then it will be binary 1. If it is x naught 2 of t, it will be binary 0, because there is no noise. So whatever transmitted, that will be decoded correctly here. But if noise is present, then what will happen is you will be transmitting x1 of t, right? You will be transmitting x1 of t, but the receiver can detect it as x0 2 of t. Similarly, you will be transmitting x2 of t, but receiver will be decoding it as x0 1 of t due to noise or error. This happens when there is noise. So you can see here, when x1 of t is transmitted, right, r of t, if r of t is closer to x0 1 of t, right, than x0 2 of t, then it will automatically select x1 of t, right? But normally what you will do, you would have transmitted x2 of t, right? Now, and also similarly, if x2 of t will be selected if r of t is closer to x0 2 of t, right? That is what I said here. If x1 of t is transmitted, but if r of t is closer to x0 2 of t, it will take it as x0 2 of t. Similarly, you would have transmitted x2 of t, but if it is closer to x1 of t, then it will consider as x0 1 of t. Correct? So these are the error condition, right? And this, based upon this error condition, this is the boundary decision, the average value, x0 1 of t plus x0 2 of t divided by 2. Hope you can understand this concept, right? I'll explain here again. When there is noise is absent, whatever transmitted, it will be decoded correctly, right? If noise is present, how it will detect is, it will detect x1 of t or x2 of t if it is closer to a corresponding signal. If r of t is closer to x0 1 of t, it will take it as x1 of t. If r of t is closer to x0 2 of t, it will take it as x0 2 of t, right? But there can be error, that is, you would have transmitted x1 of t, but it can detect it as x0 2 of t. You would have transmitted x2 of t, but it would have detected as x0 1 of t, right? So this happens when noise is present, right? Now, what is the error condition? Now you understand these are the two possibilities of error, and this error condition, now when x2 of t is transmitted, but if it takes x0 1 of t is greater, then what will happen? Noise is positive, right? The error is positive, correct? Because x0 2 of t is 0, right? But it is taking us at positive signal. We know that 0 is a negative signal. So in that condition, what will happen? The incorrect decision is taken. So this is the condition. N of t is greater than, right? This is the boundary value, x0 1 of t plus x0 2 of t minus x0 2 of t, right? So you will obtain this particular expression. And when x1 of t is transmitted, but it takes x0 2 of t, which means you are transmitting binary 1, but it is taking as binary 0. In that case, right, the noise is negative. N of t is negative. So what will happen? N of t is lesser than or equal to minus of this decision minus x0 1 of t. Correct? Right? So now you obtain this condition. These are the two error condition, right? And I already explained what is this two error condition. When 1 is transmitted, it will assume it as 0. If 0 is transmitted, it will assume as 1. Right? And the power spectral density of noise for a Gaussian noise is given by N0 divided by 2. Right? And now to derive the probability of error, we will take the probability error of the optimum filter. Right? So this is the general expression for probability of error of the optimum filter. Right? That is 1 by 2 ERFC x0 1 of t minus x0 2 of t divided by 2 root 2 sigma. This is the probability error for the optimum filter. And here we take this particular expression alone, x0 1 of t, leaving this 2 to sigma. This alone can be written as modulus of x of square divided by the power spectral density of noise. Right? Power spectral density of noise we already derived. Right? We know that it is N0 divided by 2. And if you're going to substitute that particular value here, we can write this expression as 2 by N0 minus infinity to plus infinity modulus of x of square df. Right? And this can be related to a Parseval's theorem. What is Parseval's theorem? You can see here minus infinity to plus infinity x of square df can be written as x square of t into dt. Right? And x square of t we already know. For binary 1 we call it as x1 of t, and binary 0 we call it as x2 of t. And we know that this is plus 1 and this is minus 1. That is plus a and this is minus a, which means we can write it as x of t, right? We can write it as x2 of t is equal to minus of x1 of t, correct? Only the plus sign and only the sign is different, but everything is same, right? We can also write it this way, right? So now here x square of t can be written as x1 of t minus x2 of t, and if you integrate this, x1 square, x2 square minus 2x1 of t, x2 of t, that is your using a minus b whole square formula here, and then you are integrating everything separately. And we're going to integrate everything separately. I'm just considering this as an energy. This is as x1 of t as E1, x2 square can be as E2, and this can be E1 of t. And I already said we can write it like this, right? Because binary 1 and binary 0, it will be plus a and minus a, plus a and minus a. So I can write it as x1 of t equal to minus of x2 of t. Right? So in that condition, if you equate everything same, then everything can be equated as E. Right? Everything can be equated as E. So if you substitute that value of E here, that is in this particular value E plus E minus 2E. Right? So E plus E minus 2E, it becomes 4E. And now you substitute that 4E in this particular expression, right? It will become 8E by N naught. Right? Where we can write it as this 2 as 2 root 2. Right, root of EB by N naught. Now remember, this is only for this particular expression. Whereas you see here, the very first expression we have taken only this part. We already have this 1 by 2 ERFC, right? 1 by 2 root 2 is already there. Right, only for this we are writing it as 2 root 2 8E by N naught. Right, so you can see here 2 root 2, this one. Right, 2 root 2 root of E by N naught. And if you're going to substitute that, this 2 root 2 and that 2 root 2 will get cancelled, and you'll get only this error probability. Probability is equal to 1 by 2 ERFC root of E by N naught. This is the minimum error probability for matched filter. Right? So what we have done? So we have taken the probability of error of optimum filter, and this expression alone can be written like this, and we are substituting the power spectral density value, and then we are relating it to Parseval's theorem, where x square of t can be written as x1 of t minus x2 of t, and then we are integrating it, and using this expression we are representing everything as E. So we will obtain 4E. 4E can be written as then it will become 8E by substituting this particular expression, and that 8E can be written as 2 root 2, where this can be cancelled with that previous expression. So you will be obtaining 1 by 2 ERFC root of E by N naught. This is the minimum error probability of the matched filter, right? And today what we have seen is we have seen the complete derivation of error probability derivation of matched filter. I believe this video will be useful for you. Thank you, my dear students.